Deep in a secret Pacific underground lair, Pop Culture Minefield presents Saturday Afternoon Matinee. This is the Comic Relief Crusader telling you to get your popcorn and candy ready. Take it away, Martine!
Come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
There you go. This episode was brought to you by Doctor Who and Bette Midler.
Oh. Music! Hi, music! Why are you trying to kill me?
Ridiculous. So that's all I got to say about that. So today's show, we're going to be talking about the hit series, Fallout. And I want to again thank Shanatsky for getting me a copy of one of the games. What version was that? What game was that?
New Vegas.
New Vegas. What year did that come out?
Like
2010?
2010, I think.
2010.
2010.
Yeah. That is one of those games where I would say that if I knew the designer of that game, I probably curb stomped their crotch. I was so annoyed by that game.
Because you're a pussy.
I'm a first-person shooter guy, and constantly having to run between buildings to find out information.
Wait,
I mean,
was that the one you tried that Wednesday?
Yeah, it was terrible. I was so
Yeah.
frustrated playing that game. I'm like, I can't play this game. But I want to thank you anyway, Shanatsky.
Oh my God, the heresy. You're
very
making
nice
my
of you.
ears bleed.
You would probably enjoy Fallout
appreciated
4
that
a
you-
little more.
Well, I saw Fallout 4, and it looks like something I probably would do better at. That game is just, oh my God.
Well,
You need to get the special collector's edition of Fallout 4. It comes with eatable crayons.
Edible crayons.
The following people are gay.
And
it was good to have a plan B. It just didn't work for the way Gerry is streaming and for what he likes
So-
to play.
Penny is going into the store where she will, of course, have connection issues.
I love that little circle.
And Mike is astounded that you hear his own voice in your intro.
You should be on here, not just in the intro, Mike. Just
Yeah, what are you
saying.
doing, Mike? Get on the show.
Yeah, seriously.
You can
man.
work later. Stop finding excuses.
He always
I
has
swallowed a cheese grater by streaming all night last night, and I'm here.
Wow.
Get your butt up here.
Yeah, his worst excuse is I'm Canadian.
Right, dude. Grow up.
And to that, I to quote Martina Casa Santana,
Don't get me started. Don't even get me started.
I put a link for you in the chat, Gary.
oh, what is it? Oh, what is that?
Fallout 4.
Oh, I can download it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give it a try. I'll give it a try. Also, my game controller is missing. So I think that a bunch of my stuff, my headset and my controller are in the back of Scott's vehicle. And so I'm going to have trouble gaming without my controller.
Gary's just not a role player.
I've never played PC games with the keyboard and mouse. Never done that.
My God, how much heresy I have to have to witness today.
WSAD life, man. WSAD
And
life.
like that, Martin didn't have to hear anymore. Oh, wait, he still has to hear it.
Yeah, you have to hear the background. You just can't say anything because nobody hears you.
So I was kind of hoping LG would get here, but I don't see him yet.
Who?
See what's going on. I just
LG,
said his
our
fucking name.
expert.
Because John's an expert too. Headphones are charging. He'll be here in 10 minutes.
Magnificent.
So he's got somebody sick in the house with him, so he's isolating.
Come on, Jeebus, that's lazy.
Oh, no. Backdoor Fallout is actually really good.
I think that's lazy.
I like that one.
A little gross when you picture it in your mind, but yeah.
I will not picture that. Thank you.
Remember when Mike found excuses not to be here? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
If that is my excuse, what he really saying is blame Canada.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada. Anyway.
When you want to cut out on streams and you're nowhere to be seen, blame Canada. Blame Canada. I always got something else to do today.
I believe you like the song. I get that impression. Not completely sure.
Is that the impression that you get?
That's the impression that
I'm not talking to you today.
That's what's really sad is that is like the only hit those guys got.
I don't know. I like the
Rascals. Great Irish band.
Rascals
King is a great song, but the Boss Tones, they only had that one hit, and they're a great band. I love their music.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yes.
I mean, I like Oingo Boingo, but the only major hit they really had was Dead Man's Party.
I'm trying to think. Did they not have one more? I seem to recall another one. Yeah, Weird Science.
Yeah, Weird Science.
Yeah.
Two movie songs. Yeah, Weird Science and Dead Man's Party, both done for movies.
From my heart and from
Well,
my hand.
I think the lead singer for Oingo Boingo has done quite well for himself over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he got some gig doing music for TV and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will tell you this. It took him a long time. He did not understand how to write a march. So it's like everything was the same march. He used this exact same march for everything he did. And it was annoying. And the only one where it worked, well, outside of The Simpsons, was Tales from the Crypt. I love his march version of that song. It was good.
Eagle, those are fighting words. Choose your word wisely.
Martin is putting on his Space Marine armor.
Don't mess with
ready. Martin is ready to start purging heresy. He's putting on his Space Marine armor as we speak. He's surrounded by it, accosted on all sides.
For the glory of the Emperor.
Ave Imperator.
So let's see. What do we got going? Oh, Dragon Riz is here too. I missed that one.
Yes.
Lord Thoth is here. All hail Lord Thoth. Our buddy Cal is, and of course Monkey Jeebus is here. Clay Thomason. Let's see. Andy Morrow.
Oh, and this guy is Stream Elements. So good to see you, man.
Yeah, nobody's got
Yeah, who's that fucker? Never seen
I'm
him
the
before.
only one who understood that. All right.
Quick history.
If you don't understand my broken English, you are a bigot.
Thank you. So, quick history on the actual series of Fallout. This is basically 4 tiers out from the original creators. First, it was Tim Kaine, Interplay. Then Interplay got bought out by Bethesda. And then at that point, they decided to license it out to Amazon.
Yeah, it's when Bethesda stepped out of the picture that it seemed like they started having problems. By the way, this is Martin's message.
What about you, Rodriguez? You got anything to say?
Yes, sir, but it's very difficult, sir, and I don't think you'll understand.
Well, try me. Let me hear.
Okay, sir. Mire, jefe, yo no sabía que yo iba a trabajar más fuerte que el caballo de mi tigre. El pobre se cayó muerto de tanto trabajar.
Well, Interplay technically was the publisher, It was actually Black Island Studios that is the actual studio behind it.
Well, they were like, was a sub studio that was set up. I forget the exact details.
Yeah,
and Bethesda was bought out by Microsoft recently. So yeah, and then so four things out from the original creators.
Yeah.
The early 2000 rockabilly. Did you ever hear of a band called the Baseballs? They rockabillyed a lot of like early 2000s hits. They only had one album. They were a band out of Germany, I believe. Really good stuff. I actually played that stuff in my Pip-Boy when I played Fallout back then. Good times.
Yeah, there was a regional punk rock band that did a lot of rockabilly. They hit it kind of big, and I can't remember their name, but man, like my buddy's band would open for them a lot, and so I'd get to go see him for free because I was one of his roadies. God, I wish I could remember that band. They all, they had the classic Ford Fairlane painted on the backdrop. It was fucking awesome.
Nice.
So, but speaking of Ford Fairlane, that's another movie I plan to do on one of the Saturdays. The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, big fan of the comic and big fan of the movie. I love indie comics, man. But when it comes to punk music, I mean, God, when it comes to ska, I know some jokes were made. Ska is like one of my favorite forms of punk music that I really got into.
Mine too. Streetlight Manifesto. It's another good band.
Let's see. Boy, Stream Elements is really posting a lot now.
Oh, yeah. It's trying to earn its keep.
I don't know. Maybe I should turn that off.
Mars.
Scott is awesome.
Agreed.
I remember a buddy of mine, I don't want to say his name because he's a bit of a shitheel. And he knows that I called him out for it. But I called him out one time. We were going to see some of our friends that were in local punk bands play at a local bar. And I went wearing blue jeans and an arrow shirt and a tie. And I had long hair. And he started kind of making fun of me because I wasn't dressed like your typical punker. And this really did happen. He says, you don't look like you're a big supporter of punk, man. I said, punk isn't what you wear, it's your attitude. And he just sort of looked at me and I plowed him right in the middle of his fucking chest.
Oh.
Knocked him to the ground, knocked the wind out of him. I said, now that was punk. And you wearing all that black leather could stop me.
Oh, I thought you meant something else by plowed him, knowing.
No, I hit him. No back door.
Vivian from the Young Ones is very proud, Gary. Vivi from the Young Ones is very proud.
You should have yelled out, man, you went from punk to
the right
punk.
bastard.
I'm very sober and very, very bored.
I love the Young Ones. That was a fun show.
Oh, me too.
And I always thank God for MTV because we might not have had that for another few years if not for MTV.
Oh yeah.
They had that. What do they call it? Liquid television.
I love
on
Liquid
Saturday.
television.
They played all of the weird stuff at that hour. Like, that was good times.
You did people randomly in the mosh pit. Back then, back in the 80s, we didn't have it. We didn't call it a mosh pit. We called it it was called slam dancing. And that's where you would just slam into each other. There were broken noses, teeth knocked out,
Hello,
reminds me of
Sci-Fi Mom.
that-
Hey, Sci-Fi Mombi.
It reminds me of that GIF of that dude just swinging his fists wildly, and it says, "There's always every mosh pit has at least one of these guys."
Yeah. Just randomly, just fucking monkey swing.
Yeah. Hey, Boosh, how you
good to
doing,
see
buddy?
you.
Hey,
No one
Boosh.
Booshes like Gaston. Posts chats like Gaston.
I actually hung out with him the other night. It was actually morning. I was about to go to bed and saw that they were live, him and EMC, E equals MC something. I forget what it is. And so they invited me on, so I came on. And then they had this weird dude got on there and started like talking about cutting people's ears and hands off. And I went, I like turtles.
What a good zombie. I like turtles.
Yeah, it's like the guy's like, Bush is like, well, what do you think about that? And I said, I like turtles. I'm like, I'm not going to interact with this guy. I think he's insane.
Whoa. Read this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's EMC. What's his name? It's a really nice guy. I hung out with him for a little bit. Military veteran, and served in the same period of time I was in. And so we were talking about it. It was a good night. It was a lot of fun hanging out with him, but I was tired. And then that weird dude, just that guy was so fucking weird. He kept popping up into the chat, and then finally he let him on the show, and he started talking about cutting people's hands and ears and toes and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Are you insane? And I went, oh, he is insane. Oh, okay. That guy's like, he was what we'd refer to as a few beans short of a burrito.
So when you met this escaped convict from Arkham, I'm happy to report that you seem to have all of your ears, your nose, everything seems to still be in place. So that's good.
Well, when he first started it, I'm like, is this going somewhere? No, that was just a statement he made that, he would really get off cutting off some hands, some feet, some ears, and some toes. And I'm like, and I waited, and I'm like, okay, that was just a statement. Yeah, okay.
How do you not know that Gary's a replicant? Everybody knows that.
So Bush is like, what do you think of that? And I'm like, I like turtles. I don't know.
We have Radioactive and Tim's talk.
Hey, Tim is here. What's up, buddy?
Hail, Radioactive and Tim. How you guys doing today?
No, the guy served in World War I, but he also served later. He was in other conflicts, and he was a brutal warrior. He really was. The guy he was talking about, and he just kept losing body parts in combat, and he lost an eye. It just kept going, man. This guy was unstoppable. But it was like he hyper focused on the brutality of this soldier rather than the skill and bravery. And I'm just like cutting off hands and toes and feet and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I'm surprised
I was
he
like,
didn't recruit that guy.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Well, I immediately, I hate saying this. I immediately went after the show, found him on Twitter, and blocked him so he never interacts with me on Twitter. I'm like, no, I don't want you following me.
Yeah,
I don't care if he follows Pop Culture Minefield, but I don't want him following me personally. So, hey, LG is here. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey guys, sorry, I'm on mobile, so I'm going to sound terrible. Got a sick person where I usually do my streams.
You sound just as bad as you normally do.
Oh, awesome!
You're so supportive. Oh man.
So, all right. Look, you're here now, and it's about time. About 20 minutes after is when we start the show. So I'm going to hit the video, and here we go. I'm going to put us at the top of the screen. See if that works. There we go.
That's it. That's the whole slideshow. We reached the end.
So, John, you and Dust Wolfen are our two in-house experts on the game. So I'm kind of glad you're both here. Now, you saw something that I didn't see, that you're saying that they did drop bombs here at the beginning, because I couldn't see bombs. anything falling from the sky. I just saw
Oh
explosions.
no,
And
that is on
atomic
purpose.
bombs don't leave craters. A lot of people don't know that. Atomic bombs are fired so far off the ground when they detonate, so they don't leave craters. It also allows for a better yield of damage, which is why they detonate.
These
nukes off ground.
explosions were ground bursts.
Yeah,
for sure.
they left craters.
Yep.
Which told me, because I don't play the game, that tells me that they were probably underground. The explosion.
Underground or brought with a briefcase nuke by agents of Vault-Tec, strategically placed nukes in some way.
War Monkey!
Not
Dude, where have you been?
Oh, man, long time no see, buddy. Good to see you.
Not every atomic bomb has to be airburst, though.
No.
Every atomic bomb we've ever detonated.
Well, yeah, it's either everything we've ever detonated has either been on
I think it's
on a
600 meters off the ground, and it's
Something
to
like
get
that,
a better yield of
been
damage.
an airburst.
Better yield, more coverage.
That's
thing
it.
is-
It's better yield.
The Fallout universe is a bit different because there are actual significant craters throughout the games.
Yeah.
It does align with the games, but not necessarily really with reality, because Fallout kind of takes place as like there's an alternate timeline that shifted from the 1950s of our universe to what Fallout becomes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically, the big shift was the fact that the transistor was never developed
Invented.
until
Yep.
like the 2060s.
Yep.
And so Nixie tube technology, vacuum tube technology, analog circuits, all of that stuff is the prevalent technological development for electricity.
Now I have these two comments. This is one, and this is the other. No, in fact, it was not a mistake. There is a reason why you don't see bombs falling, and it's revealed at the end of the season. Yes, the bombs were at surface level; they weren't dropped.
Yeah, and that's one of the things
And that explains why they're craters, because if you go back to like Nagasaki and Hiroshima, there are no craters.
No.
The reason why is those were both detonated 600 meters off the ground, and to get the greater yield, which is horrifying, but it's true.
The efficiency behind our atomic development is terrifying.
Oh, by the way, Gary, one of the weapons you might like that's actually in the games, you have mini nukes. You can actually.
Oh
fire.
yes, you can find mini nukes with a rifle.
But we have them.
It's not a rifle. It's it's actually a catapult.
We have a lot of people don't know that we actually have tactical nukes. They're very small, low yield.
Davy Crockett,
but they're
the Fat Man was
they're-
the Davy Crockett.
Yep.
Okay. And we actually developed nuclear artillery.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it from.
You mean nuclear artillery?
Like how
You know what I
insane
said?
nuclear got? There were
Nuclear.
plans.
You said nuclear.
There were plans to mine Alaska.
It's okay. I tease everybody for it.
And a lot of other ice heavy regions. There was a theory that we'll just nuke the snow away and then we can get to the mine. We can mine the resources there.
Well, atomic mining was going to be a thing.
Well, a lot of people don't realize
I wanted to go back to something here, guys, just for a second, because it's something that I talked before with LG Ryan about previously on another show, which was I, having not played the games, I had figured out that they kept trying to reinvent the world, because during the big circle table scene, they're like, yeah, we could try something. If it doesn't work, reset and start over. They said that in the show.
Yes.
And
That's
so
a complete new
that was something I
fabrication.
picked up early on, is that, oh my God, they're trying stuff, and if it doesn't work, they reset and set up. And I assumed that meant set off nukes and kill everybody on the surface and start over. And that's why we're so far into the future. But LG, you correct me. You said, no, that's not what's going on.
No.
No, so basically what that refers to is the actual vaults themselves. So there's probably maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of 30% of the vaults were actually meant to safely help people survive the apocalypse. The other 70%, were designed as experiments to see which version of humanity was best to ultimately survive, and they were used in the most horrifying ways.
Oh yeah.
It's just heinous, quite frankly. And so Vault Tech again, what it was meant to save those who were deemed important enough, but you're talking about probably the top less than 1%, probably 0.1% of humanity was guaranteed safe passage. Much like what's his name's wife alludes to. I'm trying to get us into one of the good vaults.
One of the control vaults,
The percentage is actually a lot smaller than 30% because there were only 17 canonical
control vaults
out of 120 known vaults.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to go into with them is that's the more like recent stuff. Originally, in their creation, as envisioned by Tim Kaine, the creator, the purpose of the vaults was that they were trying to figure out space travel. So they were doing all these experiments to basically get the things done because they have we have nuclear reactors and they can run, but how are we going to, successfully get people, frozen and unthawed out? How are we going to keep the food supplies going? All these like really hard logistical questions. And that was the original intended purpose behind the creation. But of course, then gets sold to Bethesda, and they just change it to wherever the hell they want.
That's why Mr. House in New Vegas was all about perfecting a colonization program, and he needed the economy of New Vegas and complete control to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
well,
this is
also I want to bring up the suits because you mentioned something about the suits, and I remember in the show there was a bit of a chuckle because Walton Goggins asked the guy, so these suits actually protect you from atomic radiation, and the guy goes, yeah, sure.
yeah.
Actually, I believe they have was it 10?
Maximus. Right?
I'm not getting what you're saying, John. Say it, the whole thing.
These suits actually, in game terms, they have 10 points of radiation protection.
Radiation protection.
Whereas
so,
is
that something that changed in the show, or is it what does that mean for the show? Because I know in the show they also said that the style, the colors were picked based off of Walton Goggins' cowboy suit. Costume.
Oh, we're talking about the Vault Dweller suits. No, there's nothing special about the Vault suits. They're basically just jumpsuits meant to basically be associated with Vault Tech. It's like being given kind of a school uniform, so to speak.
Or maybe Mouse ears.
To erase individuality.
Yeah, pretty much to erase individuality, because quite frankly, many of the experiments through Vault Tech were actually would pit each other against one another in some of the most heinous ways possible. There's a vault that basically said that we'll shut off the life support if you don't sacrifice a person every single year, every year, until the end of existence. And it wasn't literally until the end. It was a giant civil war in that vault that the three remaining individuals that were alive, they said, no more bloodshed. Like we're not sacrificing anybody. And the computer finally stated that, like, congratulations, you have passed the experiment. And Yes, and you can now live in peace. And 2 of the remaining out of 3 killed themselves, and the other person just walked out of the vault, never to be heard from again.
Yep, that was Vault 17 or Vault 19. I can't remember right offhand.
I can't either. I just, it's they're
I love that story though.
Oh, I know. It's because it's so horrendous at the same time. But there was also a vault to where one person was put into it with a box of puppets, like hand puppets. It was just him.
That wasn't originally canonical, but it was made canonical later.
Yeah, it wasn't originally canonical, but it was made canonical later. So this guy was put into a vault all by himself with puppets.
Yeah, that was actually the Fallout comic strip.
Yeah,
that they made.
Yeah.
His name was Snowdub, and he did all right.
Snowdub, okay.
And
it's either Snowdub or Floral.
30 years or something?
Something like that. Also, I know we're past the first episode, but I feel that this entire series, it needed another pass for what they were doing for the ending, because what she's doing in the beginning, the bad guy who isn't it and turns out not being that, makes no sense to me with what we're supposed to know later.
Look at this one. Yes, Kings. Yes.
Absolutely. This is a classic Western. Let me go through some of these real quick. So we got this one. I was so ready to not like this and turn it off after 20 minutes after the week trailer, like I end up doing with most shows now. But I loved it. Absolutely. I just assumed after I watched that trailer that it's got Walton Goggins in it. I just want to check it out. I'm assuming it's going to suck. And it was the opposite impact. I ended up becoming totally engaged with this show and enjoying it. And I actually, because you bring it up later here in one of the comments right here, Maximus is the heart of the show.
Yes, because I
don't like him.
Wait. As I said in the comments, my daughter, she still despises him, and I'm convinced he starts as a very despisable character who is beginning his redemption arc, and he has a very what could be a great hero's journey, because he started.
I'm liking what he's doing. I like what he's gone through. I'm enjoying every bit of this show, every bit of it.
About being ready to hate it, I think Halo did a lot of damage because people expected a lot of Halo and it just sucked so badly.
Of course.
But now we get another game turned serious. People just didn't expect anything. Oh, this one's gonna suck too.
Well, we've come to that. We've come to that crossroad now, Anima, where we're so used to them trying to dish us garbage that we just assume, oh, this is just going to be more crap, and then instead we get surprised by good writing, great acting, very good visual effects.
And you don't need to know the games to get into this show.
And I do want to point out, once we saw that weird amphibian-looking creature in that lake,
the gulper.
When I saw the gulper, when I saw the fingers in its mouth, I'm like, that thing's genetic. That's a mutation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes are human too.
Never played the game. I just figured that out quickly because there are no fingers inside of amphibians' mouths.
Well, you get to see how they breed them later, and it's so fucked up.
Yeah, that's his own.
Maximus is not a great character morally. He starts completely amoral. He doesn't have a moral compass. He acts
Where would
on.
you have learned about that, Martin? He had no chance
Hey,
to
Stark.
learn about moral.
Good
No,
God.
what?
Hating on Gerry.
Not that Gerry. Talking about the clone.
Talking about the
Gerry.
Yeah, I think it's like
Gerry
or something like that.
Gerry.
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 That is probably one of the creepiest vaults because you run around this vault in Fallout 3, and these clones, they talk, and that's how they talk. They go Gerry, and they go Gerry, and that's they talk through the whole thing. And
It's the only word they can say.
It's the only word they can say, and it is.
It's like Groot. Groot.
Yes. So with the Gulper, it's a mutated salamander, as in most things in the wasteland are mutated animals.
And crossbred with a human.
The giant bear is called a Yowlguai, ultimately, which kills Michael Rappaport's character because, why not? I'm good with that.
That was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny. I kind of feel like that was a play into the fact that he's kind of a giant Deutsch bag. At least in the past he has been, and he plays one in the show. So,
and I like, look, don't get me wrong. I have said for years that Michael Rappaport is insane.
Oh, he is.
And it's like somebody says, yeah, but now he likes a certain political figure. And I'm like, I don't care. He's insane. But he's a good freaking actor. And he nails it in
when
this
he
part.
plays roles that are insane.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
My whole thing is that they drag the show. It's like, yeah, I already get it. He's an asshole, and he's gonna let him die.
I think my biggest criticism of this scene, period, is that a Yowlguai is again a mutated black bear. They're ginormous, and they have they're extremely hard to kill. I didn't like the fact that Maximus killed the bear with basically like one shot to the head
with 10 millimeter.
With 10 millimeter of
10 millimeter, yeah. Especially because the 10 millimeter is kind of a beginner's weapon. Now again, look, are they taking some liberties here? Yes, but maybe had he shot 3 times, hit it in the eye once, maybe you could think that it lodged into the skull and bounced through the brain. That would have been better. But just one shot to the chrome dome, no, I didn't like that.
I noticed that the stim packs are very watered down too, because the lore behind the stim pack is a accelerant agent designed to accelerate healing.
Yes.
And kind of like what happens later with the supposed ghoul formula from the
well, see, there's a debate going on that the kid, when he makes him inhale that stuff, he says that's he was one game show expert said that is actually a healing formula, not the ghoul formula that he took. Your thoughts on that?
They don't really explain it. So
No.
Yeah, they don't explain it at all.
But then when he gets the crossbow bolt to the throat,
hey, there's the chicken
everybody
fucker.
assumes he's a ghoul.
This is one of my
That's
other
everybody's
problems.
favorite chicken fucker.
The
Ghouls aren't
scientific
zombies.
curiosity.
He is the only one I know about, and is not my favorite. Even though he's the only one.
He looks like the kind of person that if you weren't looking, he would kill and eat you.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He looks like a typical wastelander.
Yes.
Good old waster.
Chicken collector is how he's credited, Gerry. Chicken collector.
I love the fresh iguana scene because you never see an iguana until you find out that that's what death claws are.
Actually, iguana bits are actually human.
Yes. So
the
long and the short of it is that in Fallout 1, it was established that iguana bits, if you go down that rabbit hole, Doc Mortem, I believe it is, basically is taking dead people, chopping them up, and then selling them to a vendor as iguana bits. The only difference is that there's iguana bits and iguana on a stick. And on a stick would probably be an actual iguana as we would understand it, but the bits are not bare human flesh.
Yeah, if you look at the model of iguana on a bits, it's actually got a fried iguana.
Yes, it does.
But iguana bits are definitely human. So
my character with the cannibal.
Yes, he's the same guy, Boosh. It's the same person.
Yep.
And by the way, she did a fantastic job, but I swear to God, man, she looked like she had the same thing done to her eyes that they digitally did to Johnny Depp when he played the Mad Hatter. Her eyes are too big for her head. It's really bizarre
Very,
looking.
anime
Yeah.
looking, right? Yeah.
Yeah, very anime looking. I thought that was an effect, and that's actually what she looks like. And I'm like, oh,
She looks
well,
like
fuck.
that.
Yeah,
He was born looking like an anime character. That's fascinating.
But at the same time, also, I will give them credit. She is a very pretty woman, and they just let her be pretty. They didn't try to keep her up. She acts like a typical vault dweller, being very
Naive.
wide-eyed, naive, and yes, we're going to save the world, and not realizing that, quite frankly, the vaults were all a scam. And the rest of the world, as the one lady says, the vendor, she's like, fuck the vaults. She, basically because the rest of the world was abandoned to die and burn.
Okay. This is a question for the panel. So Kings Plus Carl says, so all the water is radiated. How do they get clean H2O?
Vault 13 is a good start.
Probably dirty
water.
There are natural springs too. You find out in Fallen Vegas. They get you will find
good springs
of purified water, which is kind of what they alluded to. So like when she had that water and dude like drank it all.
Every bit of it. Yep.
Yeah, drank every bit of it. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, if you got purified water, it's like you drink all of it, whether you're thirsty or not. But no, it also alludes to in the show that when she is at her lowest point, she drinks irradiated water. She just laps it up. You can get it from a toilet, you can get it from a sink, you can get it from puddles on the ground, and that's very so it's, and again, yes, Bush, Radaway.
And this is from the game too, right? That stuff that Maximus gives her to cure her radiation sickness is something
that's
from
Radaway.
the game.
Yeah.
That's Radaway.
Radaway. That's something that's actually from the thing.
And the model actually is an IV bag. So
yes.
Iodine, potassium, and a few other rad-soaking components.
It's like, I'm not expecting you to realize it, but I don't exactly like what they've done to ghouls, especially with this one, because they make him more out that like he's almost like a zombie, like an undead zombie with him taking hits. They're not like super hard to kill or whatnot.
No,
they're just really fucked up from radiation. In fact, if you take away the water chip in Fallout 1, because it's got a vault that's full of ghouls that are living there, they just die because they run out of water.
Yep.
Right. Like they're just supposed to be humans that are long lived because they're.
I love the Necropolis though. Necropolis was so fun.
Yeah.
They somehow kept it alive way longer than they should have. It's not just the radiation that fucked them up; it's being kept alive somehow.
And there's another detail, because it's apparently you have to keep taking this substance in the show, otherwise you'll go feral. That never happened in any of the other ones. In fact, there's a kid who was stuck in a fridge for 200 years. It's still completely normal.
Yep.
After you get them open.
Apparently, from what they kind of explain it in the game slightly, more speculate the fact that there are just some that for whatever genetic reason they become feral, and that there are those that don't. Their skin just melts off and falls off, but they become ghouls. But they keep their humanity, so to speak, to where the other ones, they call them, I believe in Fallout 3, become feral, and then of course you have different levels of ferality and stuff like that, including the glowing ones, which basically, the higher up the chain you get, the more radiation they take in, it actually heals.
It doesn't necessarily mean that a glowing one is going to be feral, because there's Oswald.
Yes, that's true.
There's Oswald. There's Jason Bright.
Yeah,
a lot of.
What about Jason Bright?
But no, for some reason, ghouls have been rendered basically kind of timeless. They're frozen in time, whether they be feral or not. You have to straight up. I mean, they can be killed, but they won't die from most just old age. They just don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Now somebody asked the question I wanted to get to answer this, which is, Somebody asked, do you clean up radioactive water? And in the military, we had equipment designed for it. It's called reverse osmosis. You can look it up. Just look up reverse osmosis for cleaning up radioactive water, and it'll clear out close to 99.9% of the particulates, radioactive particulates. So it makes it like safe to drink. And that's how you do it.
I think the people in the Fallout world are not automatically, but they're more radiation resistant than we would be.
Yeah,
because they've been exposed
to
it
for so long. Yeah,
because they were even put radiation in their soft drinks. That's
their
the whole thing.
Alarm clocks.
Yeah, alarm clocks, board games.
Yes. Nuka-Cola Quantum. It is glowing blue because of a radioactive isotope in it.
Yep.
Strontium.
So there is no way to actually, from what I understand, to decontaminate the water. You have to decontaminate yourself. So so basically, from what I understand, at 1,000 rads,
you consume the radioactive material and then clean yourself, is what you're saying. I get you.
Yourself, yeah. Basically using rad away. So, but the game does acknowledge the fact that if you get 300 rads, you get radiation sickness. At 600 rads, you get advanced radiation sickness, and at 1,000, if you don't actually use rad away, to stop that, if you hit 1,000 rads in your body, collectively you're dead. So.
Yeah, to liquefy your innards.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like a blender.
I love this scene when he comes back to see what's going on. That is great.
Oh, yeah. Get the fuck away from my suit.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Crushes that dude's head.
Oh, that
crushes that dude's head. I was like, I am all in on this show.
One of the other things I don't entirely get them doing, why they decide to give them the suits Iron Man.
If I may interject. If I may interject, as the resident Iron Man, that was the most ridiculous thing they did. That effectively made the T-60s into, if you were to try and give it a canonical model, the T-60G, because the T-60 only goes up to the Model F, and from the Model F back, the only way you could use jump packs or fly is with the big jetpack.
Yeah.
That was completely... Yeah, West Tech was good. West Tech was not Stark Industries good. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest changes in the lore as far as the technology is concerned. I mean, there were other changes, but except for a few places, they were a lot of the stuff that they made changes to was stuff that still fit within the lore, even though it wasn't explained. Like the whole who dropped the bomb thing.
Yeah.
Because they don't know who started it. That's the way it is in the game. They never reveal who started the war.
Yes, that's very correct. Now, fans have long speculated that there is the possibility that the U.S. government, which ultimately the remnants of the U.S. government ultimately becomes the Enclave in Fallout 1. It's again, Vault-Tec was a part of that. Vault-Tec was integrated with the U.S. government that to ultimately change. The U.S. realized it was losing a fighting battle. If you play the first game, you'll see signs that like refilling, basically their version of gas prices was like $19,000 to 1 gallon of unleaded. And if you wanted premium, it was like $23,000. Just insanity. So
comic books were like $50.
Yeah.
So California in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The irony that eventually that California becomes the new California Republic, which takes the old world ideals of the United States, the foundation of the United States, and actually carries them into the future is, if it was written today, would not be the case. It would probably be like Texas, But yeah, so the ideal is that the U.S. government realized it was losing a large battle. That ultimately it was a battle over resources at this point, and that many fans have speculated that the U.S. government actually is the one that did it. That fired the first shot to make it look like China fired the first shot, and then subsequently we kind of destroyed everything.
Well, the T-60s, now, from what I gathered with what Cooper said, he actually piloted a T-45.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
the
did.
T-60s weren't released until right before the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
Because he's in the war in Alaska, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Operation
That
Anchor.
T-51s were used in Alaska, T-51Bs
Yeah,
specifically.
T-45s were before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
And
real
then-
quick about the Enclave. They were the shadow government. They weren't the U.S. government. They were a shadow government.
Yeah,
that
they were
was
the
getting
hoods.
set up.
They're the deep
They were
state.
the hoods.
Yeah.
The Enclave.
The Enclave.
Oh, it is confirmed actually that it is remnants of the former U.S. government. Now, whether it is referred to as a shadow government in a sense too, but it is stated, I believe, in the first game, the remnants of the U.S. government. That's what they call themselves, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they would, a shadow government would, after everything fell, would legitimize themselves, saying, "Oh, we're what's left of the government."
Absolutely, they would, and that's why I'm saying again, they kind of refer to themselves as that. They're remnants of the old world who thought they knew better, out on an gosh darn it, an oil rig out in the middle of
Navarro.
Yeah. So it's ultimately what it was an oil rig, well away from the land, and that they avoided the nuclear fallout.
Oh, and with that, I find it weird that the Brotherhood aren't in a bunker. They're at like some ex-military base, as far as I can tell in this show.
Well, this is a brotherhood that is, confident in showing their presence. They're not, they've refilled their numbers. They've obviously become a lot more extreme with their Knights of Holy Order like doctrines. And so, this is all because of former Squire, now Elder Maniac Maxon, not to be confused with Colonel Maxon. Did what he did over in the East Coast at Massachusetts. Now that, from what I've gathered, that airship's not the Pridwin, but another airship that of a different name.
The thing is, they're taking lore, they're taking bits of lore from Fallout Tactics, which is questionably canonical.
Yeah,
but there's that whole that chat. I think that's what they're showing us is the chapter that spawned the chapters that becomes the Midwest Brotherhood. Because at the end of Fallout 1, I think it's 1. Is it 1 or 2? Anyway, when the Masters,
2, I think.
When the remnants, the Masters armies go east, they fielded a bunch of airships and sent a bunch of the Brotherhood after them in Fallout Tactics.
Yeah, and ultimately Fallout Tactics takes place in Chicago, correct?
Chicago and Missouri.
Yeah,
Illinois, Missouri.
The river.
Because there's the whole underground in the caves in St. Louis, and Kansas City was originally a stronghold of the Master Remnant forces, but the Brotherhood actually take it over and use it as a base. And the cool thing
I want to
is
get to some of the chat here.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, don't worry about it. I never got into the torture, end quote. Then why you torturing me? Darling, you're bait. That was one of my favorite moments in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. War Monkey. I love that line, and it's exactly the moment I realized that I love the show. I'm not sure if it was the moment I love the show, but it was definitely the moment where I I realized something about his character, that he's aloof. He's cold. He's not cruel. It just doesn't matter to him. And she's giving him something to consider in the show. I think that they've both had an impact on one another through it. And apparently that's also something that they show that is depicted from the game, her changes during the game. Is that correct? That they follow her changes in the show the way it changed in the game? Like going to the super center?
No, I don't think
the
so.
superstore?
Well,
I don't think she's even in the game.
She's not in the game. No, none of these characters are in the game.
Then maybe it's the main character that you're playing. I don't know.
Well, I can see there's an allegory there, and there's parallels, but because the characters that come out of the vault, and especially in Fallout 3, he's very naive because he doesn't know what's going on, and he gets a rapid and that's your player character in Fallout 3. You get a rapid lesson in how the wasteland really is.
Yeah, so each vault character that comes out. So Vault 1, the Vault Dweller, as you're referred to in the first game. 3, the Lone Wanderer, and then of course 4 is
Soul Survivor.
The Soul Survivor. Thank you. Each Vault Dweller walks out of the vault being very, very wide-eyed, very naive, not knowing what to expect. You could even argue too that the Chosen One in Fallout 2, being descendants of Vault Dwellers, of Vault 13, going into the wasteland after living well after the events of Fallout 1, that you are very naive to what needs to be done. So, none of these characters are in any of the games, but it actually rings true to what the world of Fallout is. So when him and his when Walter Goggins and his basically his wife split necessarily, her sole purpose is survival, because she is a part of, again, Vault Tech. She knows what's going to happen, and it's led to believe that she is kept safe through a vault while her husband gets changed, and ultimately their daughter dies in the events of the opening. To when the bombs dropped. I
don't think she died.
Well,
we don't know.
We're led to believe at this point, and that's what ultimately made him snap.
No, because remember when he meets
Moldaver.
Yeah.
He
asked, "Where's my wife and daughter?" So I think after the bombs fell, I imagine he probably rushed back, and she took the daughter and went to the vault where she would have got the daughter would have gotten treatment.
Yeah.
And left him high and dry. That's what I think happened.
I just want to know, how is Moldaver alive?
We don't know. Cryogenic technology is something that is a part of the Fallout universe, as we see in Fallout 4. Now,
well, it was alluded to before that. I mean, it was Fallout New Vegas.
It was alluded to before that, yes.
Yeah.
There's several examples. The most prominent one is Fallout 4. And then, of course, Mr. House kind of being kept in a weird kind of stasis, as a corpse, if you guys played that game. But so anyway, the thing is that Moldover, she doesn't really age at all. She might age 5, 10, some years, something like that. But the thing is that she looks almost exactly the same. So maybe stolen technology. I can't imagine that Vault Tech would put her in a cryogenic vault. That wouldn't make sense to me.
No.
Her company did get bought out.
Well, maybe, because remember, I think she was the owner of Robco.
No. That's the owner of Robco is Mr. House.
When she talks to Walton in that meeting, she says to him that she's working with one of those companies that has been absorbed by Voltec.
Yeah, her company, because she developed cold fusion. Voltec bought her out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So she may have a space in a vault.
Yeah, she might have had a space in a vault. Yeah, it's entirely possible. Or she may have invented something that gave her basically immortality too. We don't know.
I kind of have several issues with the whole thing of not necessarily the cold fusion, but the fact that somehow all the infrastructure works to turn power on from Griffith Observatory after the bombs have fallen.
There's got to be some suspension of disbelief. It's
well, let's look at it from this point of view, from the settlement building of Fallout 4. A lot of the nodes that you build to create static power areas of effect for like your lights and lamps and whatnot is very similar to Tesla wireless power distribution, which Tesla's technology is very prevalent in the Fallout universe as a form of electrical distribution. So it's not completely out of the park that a lot of those small appliances, street lights, etc., are using nodes of a similar technology.
Yeah, and there's also in-game explanation, or there's in-game qualification, because if you remember at the end of Nuka World, one of the things you do is you turn on the power to Nuka World, and everything, not everything runs, but a lot of it runs.
Yeah, a lot of it does run.
Okay, John, I know you're an expert in these two different matters. What is your opinion about what Kinsporkat is saying?
Yeah, it's got some similarities. That story that Silo is based on is very much after Fallout. So after Fallout was created. So it's entirely possible that was it Hal Hewley? I forgot the author's name. It's kind of it's one of those like Peter Parker, where they got the name begins with the two same letters.
Well, the original Fallout 1 is based off.
It was originally inspired by Wasteland, because some of the developers on the original Fallout worked on the original Wasteland.
That's true, but they deferred in the fact that the original inspiration actually came from a boy and his dog. It was a movie.
Yeah. Which is great, because they do put a nod to that in the series.
Yeah,
a man and his dog movie poster behind him on the stairs.
Yes, that is the original thing that launched everything. Now, yes, there was some creative liberty.
Post-apocalyptic sci-fi.
Yep.
Although technically, Last Man on Earth was 1964. With Vincent Price.
Which is based on an earlier 50s novel.
It's a big thing.
I Am Legend.
Way.
Yeah, I Am Legend, yeah.
It's been done in a lot of sci-fi. I mean, in part because there was the big scare of nuclear war and people were getting vaults to live in them. So it's not stretch to go, what would happen after the nukes drop from if they actually
and
did.
A Boy and His Dog is the first one, by the way, to depict a wasteland, and he's absolutely correct on that one. Because we had never seen a wasteland before put to film.
A lot of drawings, a lot of paintings, but never on film.
Or she is.
Yeah, a lot of them by Mobius.
Yes. The dog's original designator is CX404, but the Google calls her Dogmeat, so she's Dogmeat.
Yeah, but every dog, every player character dog that you interact with is called Dogmeat.
Yes, it is.
In the game.
Since Fallout 1, it's called Dogmeat. Probably the reason.
Guys, I need a second. I need to run a video for one of our most beloved chat members.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
The inter.
But yeah, but my whole thing, with Moldiver makes sense. It's like, so let me get this straight. This is your, the person you care about's most daughter, and you're going to send them to get basically raped and murdered. Okay.
Yeah, wow.
Now I love this scene here when he's carving out slabs of that dude's liver, is because he's just trying to get that little bit of whatever is supposed to be sustaining his sanity, and he knows.
Yeah, the liver is the human filter system. So if he's going to find any,
Yeah.
it's going to be in the liver.
Yeah.
Well, ghouls still have to eat, right?
Yes.
They can.
Yeah.
They can pretty much eat anything that they want, including rotting flesh. And so,
Actually, they don't need to eat because they'll never. The boy in the in Fallout 4, the
the radiation
bridge.
Yeah, this is one of the things I hated with the Bethesda redoing things is that that entire question have existed, but Bethesda owns it now, so
it's kind of one of those things that it's a horrible, I guess, I wouldn't even say retcon. It's just a bad storyline. The kid who survived in the refrigerator. You could probably lean into the fact that maybe there was food in the refrigerator and he slowly ate it over time. Because again, no, a ghoul doesn't need to eat like a human needs to eat. They still have to consume. They still consume some things, but in a different fashion. It's one reason that feral ghouls attack anything and everything is because they're basically zombified in a sense. They're mentally compromised and they're just murder machines. That so I don't like that Bethesda example. I think it's a bad one, but
it's lore though, so I mean
it is lore. It's absolutely lore. I mean, it's lore breaking, even though it's lore. So, but there are many things that throughout the whole entire Fallout game that have been lore breaking. Fallout 2, we have a talking death claw. So it's like
well, there's the whole intelligent death claw thing is kind of weird.
And by the way, part of what people got upset about with the whole, nuking of Shady Sands and all that is the fact that there was actually civilization coming back, and it's basically feels the equivalent of, oh, well, we want to do more classic style Fallout, so everything that was being advanced is just taken off screen.
Yeah.
Well, the real issue with the nuking of Shady Sands, it took place in 2277, and the events of Fallout New Vegas don't happen until 2281. And so you're saying that Shady Sands was nuked 4 years before the events of Fallout New Vegas. Now that's it's an easy fix. If they fix it in season 2, it's an easy fix. They don't necessarily know 100%. They can add to that timeline, right? And that was my biggest criticism is that I don't think they're trying to take away Fallout New Vegas. I think that's a very incorrect take from many people. It's just a massive scathing just blemish on the show. But that's my biggest criticism.
Yeah, that was mine too. Was the whole nuking of Shady Sands because Fallout New Vegas mentions Shady Sands, that the president's coming from Shady Sands.
Yes.
So,
I have 2 comments that I want to get to here. One is this one: McLaughlin's character in Lucy's arc does mirror partly Fallout 3's character origin and his search for his father, Liam Neeson.
Absolutely.
And then there's this one. There's an almost steampunk vibe to Fallout's retro futurism. Actually, there's a name for that, Reed. It's called diesel punk.
Yep.
I thought it was Adam Punk.
When I got to work on Iron Sky, that was my first.
That's diesel punk for sure.
Yeah, it's diesel punk. And I got so excited about that because I've never gotten to work on steampunk, but I got to work on a diesel punk sci-fi film. So
also, I love styles like steampunk, atom punk, like all that stuff. It's just it's more fun. Yes, again, Soviet punk, like for what Mudfish Atomic.
Brutalism.
They're just more fun.
For All Mankind has a lot of Soviet punk sprinkled in.
Absolutely, where the Soviets get to the moon first,
Mhm.
it causes a change in the space race, and we almost go to war on the moon, and that was awesome.
In Fallout, there was conflict on the moon in the Sea of Tranquility.
Yes.
I have not played.
Did anybody else watch that series on Apple?
No, I haven't.
For All Mankind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a good
I'm
show.
a big for a long time. It was when
Yeah, it was this last
when-
season. The previous season, they lost me, and I stopped watching because it got stupid.
Well, when The Expanse went off the air, that became the best sci-fi on television.
So you knew they had to ruin it. Got you?
Yeah. So,
By the way, Gary, one weapon, if they ever actually get to showing, I think you'll like. Gatling.
Is it the backdoor weapon?
Gat lasers,
Oh, my
baby.
God.
Gat lasers.
Yeah. Gatling laser guns. It's a Gatling
I
gun
like that.
fires rapid fire lasers.
Yep.
Or it would have to be plasma, not lasers, though. Laser would.
They
make
have
sense.
got plasma guns too.
Yeah, they got plasma casters and things of that sort.
Because
big
a Gatling laser gun wouldn't make sense.
Fallout's retro futuristic wonder science isn't supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be a nod
It's
to
the
that
bullshit science. Gotcha.
Tales
It's
of
like-
interest era.
You can actually
Yeah.
build an osmosis filter for radioactive water. You can build it.
It's not in Fallout. You can't. Well, I mean, also the events of Fallout 3 is about providing clean water to the whole entire wasteland through the Jefferson Memorial.
yeah, Project Purity.
Yeah, Project Purity, and you actually see remnants of that in later games.
Well, what
There's
about the
small-
cold fusion ending to this series?
I don't think cold fusion was ever discussed until this series. Now,
Yeah.
They do have
There's-
fusion. They got fusion cores though.
yeah,
That's another thing. The Brotherhood still has shit tons of fusion cores, so they're just keeping them for themselves basically when they could actually be giving people power.
Well, that's because
they hoard technology. That's their job.
That's
They
the thing is people get confused because of the changes, not really the changes, but some of what they did with Elder Lions and stuff. They think, the Brotherhood's there to protect. No, the original Brotherhood mission was to keep technology out of the hands of people so this doesn't happen again.
Yes.
That's what Colonel Maxon said. We can't let this happen again. So we've got to go secure all the technology.
That's why in the Fallout 3 you run into Elder Lion's Brotherhood of Steel, which actually is morally good, and then the Brotherhood remnants, which are very different. They are the ones who broke off because they are following the original charter of the Brotherhood of Steel, which is actually probably kind of evil.
Yes, they're fascists, just like the Enclave.
Yes, they are.
They get reabsorbed.
And by the way,
when
I want to
Maxon
point
takes
something out on
control.
the show here. When she goes to that superstore, and she has that scene where she forces them to free everybody from the refrigerators, the lockup.
Yeah.
You get a hint of foreshadowing of a character that you will see later. One of the ghouls. You'll see the ghoul later, and he spots her. Hey, I know you. And by the way, a lot of people didn't catch this, that Leslie Uggams' character is the secretary in the past.
Yes.
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 Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, because she's one of Bud's buds.
Yep.
Buds.
By the way, I think was it Lucy's brother's probably the most consistently written thing in this entire show, just because it has a very straightforward Lucy Glenn. It feels like literally, as he says, like they just go to random bullshit Like you could have almost cut out after the second episode to like the second to last episode, and you wouldn't have missed much plot wise.
Well,
now I still have a plot issue that I've got all you guys here.
Yeah,
I want to ask this, and the big one is Vault 31, which is how in the hell did what happens with the wedding ceremony happen without Kyle MacLachlan's character, her father, knowing?
Because the marriages don't come from Vault 31. The leaders come from Vault 31. The marriages, the genetic stock comes from Vault 32. Well, Vault,
that's what I meant. Vault 32. How could have what happened in Vault 32 happened without Kyle MacLachlan not knowing?
Because
how would they be able to use that as a ruse with Kyle MacLachlan?
Moldover came basically so Lucy's mother figured out what happened and she left. And she ultimately turned over her pit boy to Moldover. And so the thing is that the vaults were meant to operate independently until a union was needed. All the doors were sealed, and the doors were to always stay sealed until this design date. And that's the way all of Vault Tech worked. Whether you lived in
if you look at the communications log that he's looking at, it shows that there was knowledge. So that's where it seemed like a plot hole to me. Real serious plot hole.
No, 33 could talk to 31, and 32 could talk to 33. But the thing is, you don't know what's actually going on because it's all text communication. It's not like you got a video conference or Zoom meeting or something. It's all text over terminals.
Yeah, it's like MS DOS.
Right. It's not even MS DOS. It's like CPM or something.
Yeah, CPM.
As I said, this entire series feels like they really should have had another pass just to smooth things out, because it feels like they wrote first episode, second episode, third episode, did the edit pass on them, and then stuff they decide later on, they didn't go back to fix up before they shot the series.
Yeah, but Moldover uses Lucy's mom's pit boy to get into Vault 32. Once they get up, once her and her raiders have gotten into 32, they could easily slaughter Vault 32 because there's not really much in the way of they didn't the security.
Yeah, but Vault 32 is already dead.
Yeah, everyone was already dead, and this is what I'm talking about. Where they add this to it, and then they didn't go back to make it make sense.
Yeah, they left this gigantic vacuous hole.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Can you?
Yeah, if you let me. I think that part of the experiment of Vault 31, 32, and 33, because they operate as a unit, is from time to time you have to eliminate the population.
No.
Remember,
that's something that got brought up in the show. I know. Yes, I agree with you.
Twice. And it was something that one of the guys that is stored in Vault 31 said in a reunion. So they, from time to time, they have to create a crisis. They kill people with hunger, with disease, and now with violence. They create a conflict, a crisis, and then import a new boss from Vault 31. That's the pattern.
Yeah, so Vault 31 is basically again Buds, the rotating things of Vault overseers, former Vault Tech employees trying their experiments to figure out. Vault 33 is the stock; they're the cattle. Vault 32 is the playground that it plays out in. The thing is that in this instance, the most recent instance, they figured out what was going on, and there was basically a tribe of them that slaughtered the other people. Now, if that being said, there is a bit of I'm going to say there is a plot hole. There's definitely a plot hole. The thing is that the vault overseers, are going to be something that, again, so Hank, Lucy's father, was from Vault 31. Vault 31 is only going to be communicated in the most dire situations, as we saw towards kind of the end there from what her brother did. Is it too far of a stretch? No. Is there a plot hole? Yes. So, because again, Hank McLean figured out that his wife figured everything out. She took the kids. He went to get her back because she went to Shady Sands, and realized that the world had moved on without the ideals of Vault Tech, without their quote leadership, and nuked them. He probably grabbed the kids, mulled over Lucy's mom, mulled over the Pit Boy to ultimately try to stop the cycle of ultimately murder and experiments, because Vault Tech has always been evil. And so that's kind of where we go. Again, I understand there's a plot hole, but is it too far to jump? No, not really.
I got a question then with Moldiver. Given everything, especially what she asked for them, what's more important to you, them or your daughter? And he goes, his daughter. She wants the code, right? She already knows what's most important. So why not just kidnap him and Lucy and threaten Lucy until he gives you the code, because you already know that's what's most important to him. And she could have literally have done something like, why are you doing this? Oh, XYZ, especially because she already knew her mother in the first place.
Because that's
exact reason. Because she knew her mother, she was friends with her mother. She cared about Lucy.
Then why send her to get murdered by the one guy? She selected him. He tries to stab her to death.
The only reason I can allude to is the fact that Moldover kept Lucy's mother as a feral ghoul for as long as she did, because she actually cared. Yes, that skeleton that was moving at the table.
Yeah, that's Lucy's mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and there's an implied relationship between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
yeah.
which case, why not? Why wouldn't she take Lucy then, since she actually seems to care about her at that episode, and she doesn't in the first one with the way she's depicted.
Probably because the reason is that she wants Lucy to stay where she's going to be safe, because ultimately Vault 33 is still relatively safe. Even after the fact, now we found about the whole water chip thing. Apparently somebody probably understanding what happened from Vault 13 and the events of Fallout 1, Shady Sands being basically the vault dweller from Vault 13 and stuff like that, making a huge impact, being a lore tale. I don't know, maybe even a legend would know that the water chip is vulnerable, and so maybe a rogue individual smashed the water chip, thinking that Lucy would be safe, but not knowing that somebody smashed their or even in the scuffle, I don't know, maybe the water chip was shot. But the water chip looks exactly the same in the show as it does in Fallout 1 from 1994.
And why did she bomb the in-between vaults?
Well, because she was probably wanting to actually stop the cycle, since Vault 32 was actually the experiment ground. And Vault 33 was, again, the stock of people. You could allude to the fact that, again, as they do to inbreeding, about her cousin wanting to marry her or anything like that. But maybe to stop the cycle of experiments, because that's all Vault 31, 32, and 33 was one giant experiment.
Yeah, well, most vaults are one giant experiment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's kind of the bread and butter that Vault-Tec is known for, is, hi, look at all these people. Let's make it horrible for them.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to thank Radioactive for gifting 10 Pop Culture Minefield memberships. Thanks, man.
Yay!
I wonder who got the memberships.
Oh, I can see. Let me see. War Monkey, I think he already was. Lord Todd, Penny, Cam Cam, Aerial Ballet, Water Body, Parrot Head, Abomination AJ. We should talk to that guy. Inverse Opinion, Joe's
And
Atmosphere.
our buddy Joe. Yeah, buddy Joe.
There you go.
Yeah, some good people got him. Abomination AJ, my resident stalker Aerial Ballet, and and the always lovely.
Yeah, I haven't seen Ariel in a little bit. She
Oh,
hasn't,
Ariel is
been around it.
Yeah, she's having a rough spot at the moment.
Everybody, keep your thoughts out for her. I hope she's doing okay.
I'll
I
add
do
her
want
to
to go
my
over a
prayer
couple of comments. We have Kingsport Cal says, actually, I've been meaning to check out Iron Sky Films. The first one is good. I'm not so sure about the second one. I did the comic book that helped sell the movie, and it was part of the contribution process. Let's see. I was very pleased with what they did, and I was also pleased that they used all my story elements, just not to the degree that I felt it should have been, because in the comic book, what was supposed to originally happen was that every single major UFO story since Roswell were actually the Germans not knowing how to, like cattle mutilations was them trying to capture cows and they just kept dragging them to death on chains, and they go, damn it, we lost another one. It got stupid when they went to Mars, and he's talking about For All Mankind. The show just sort of lost itself between the politics and the stupidity of going to Mars. Mars shouldn't have happened the way it did. It was neat that they showed that because of the failure of the moon, that going to Mars was important, but that whole season should have been a build-up to going to Mars, not going to Mars. And so they lost me. I was out. There's a good actor right there. Get you asked to Mars. There's a good actor that plays the mayor here. This is a good film. Sews the finger onto his hand. I'm like, oh my God.
As I said, it's like now they're more like zombies.
Yep. So let's see. Bush McFadden says, have you had popcorn? These are oysters. Want to make my cock explode down. I laughed so hard when he said. Even Anima laughed at that. That was so crazy what he said.
No, I don't like Maximus, but I did think of like the version of him that I would have. Just basically make him the equivalent of Jack Burton.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
I did say before I laughed.
This is a good point right here. What's that, hon?
I did say ew before I laughed.
Yeah, you did say ew. Bud is stuck behind the mop bucket, remember? Bud doesn't talk to Lucy's brother. Moldover does. And that was something I didn't catch.
Well,
I didn't realize that was Moldover doing the talking.
We don't know if it was or not, because who knows when Bud got stuck behind that mop bucket. And also him being their version of a RoboBrain. He could be communicating.
This whole thing, like for me, as do I know of the NCR, I'm going. They were like the progressive, least religious sect out of all of them, and now it's like they're doing this weird blood ritual shit.
Yeah, I do love this because I actually thought that maybe they had drugged his food, was why he was becoming so complacent all of a sudden in these scenes.
No, he's just an idiot.
He's just, I know. But anyway, King Portal puts in it's a fucked up experiment, but it is an opportune time before
to perform.
What happens? That aspect is interesting to me. I agree that each one of them is an experiment. And
we have a super chat
from Penny. Hold on, I want to get this one first. Okay. Ariel is in the hospital, last she heard, on Salty Trekker Nerd Fights Thursday. So if you are religious, say your prayers for her. And if not, just give her positive thoughts. She's had some health
soon,
issues,
Ariel.
and I'd like to see her soon. I would. She's a lot of fun in the chat. She is really just a great contributor in the chat, and just an all-around fun person. So let's see. And this one is RRTNZ for $2 New Zealand. In Fallout, Chuck Norris played the nuclear blasts.
That's
Is
true.
that true, John? Is it true?
Oh yeah, that's canonical.
In fact, the nukes at the beginning are called Law and Order, just like his fist.
I don't have any Chuck Norris videos to give him because I'd like to give him one. But here, this is here you go.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
So
I do appreciate a good Dr. Evil reference.
oh my God, that's incredible.
By the way, did you know that Dr. Evil was the source of the grudge between Mike Myers and the guy with the blonde hair?
Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey. I didn't know that was where it really started, because when he found out about Dr. Evil and doing the voice, he said Mike Myers stole my impression of the showrunner for Saturday Night Live. Because that's
Lorne Michaels.
Lorne Michaels.
I had
mean,
no idea.
Actually,
This is a great scene. That's Eric Estrada, by the way, guys.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And
I
he's
hope we see him again.
He's a former Ranger because he's wearing
NCR Ranger.
Desert Ranger
armor. And they play the music during that scene.
Yeah.
Also, real quick though, I want to highlight something real fast that was previously said. So the remnants of Vault 4, well, those who live in Vault 4 are remnants of Shady Sands. They were part of the New California Republic. But no, the NCR was not. They were not anything like religious zealots. It seems that those who survived turned into religious zealots. The NCR is probably the only one until the Minutemen that was actually founded on the ideals of the old United States. The Constitution of the United States.
There's also
there's only two good factions in this entire
universe.
This entire franchise, and they both came out in Fallout 4. Because you've got the Minutemen and you've got the Railroad. Other than that, everybody's.
The Railroad suffers from corruption too.
Yeah, but it's founded on ideals that were.
Well, I mean, it's founded on the Underground Railroad. That's the name. So
yeah, it's bad Blade Runner. That's why I'd like to call the.
I was about to say they sure as heck didn't take good notes from Blade Runner.
I do like this scene where she's like, she thinks she's really discovered something and that they're all bad guys, and she's beating the shit out of them. Only to find out she's the bad guy. We asked you not to do that.
yeah, that was actually pretty funny. Also, at the same time, too, Maximus again steals the power core, gets his armor, and starts beating everybody up. And then she's like, "No," at least she's like, "No, stop."
No, we're just
pleased with it. So he just screwed them over.
letting us go, man. They're letting us go.
Can I just say they fucked up the dude with the one eye, because the one eye would never, ever, in any anatomy of any
Sit
kind,
at the
would
top
be
of the
on
bridge of the nose. It would
nose.
not. It couldn't.
That
The nasal
threw me
conch
off.
would cause a problem. It needs to be further up in the head.
Yeah, that was a CGI problem in my.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another major thing that I had with this one and with the game. Building vaults next to the fucking ocean. You can't do that. In fact, if you tried, you would fail. Because it's too close to the ocean. Well, it's also leaking. It would constantly be leaking. They would have constant problems with water pressure. It would be ridiculous.
So the thing is that every vault entrance door for the most part is actually has an elevator. You actually have to go down about at least probably 300 feet. Not everyone. I'm not gonna say every single one of them. I do understand. Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with that. There are problems with that a little bit, but you do have to take the elevator ride down, as you see in Fallout 4 as well. You go down roughly about 200 to 300 feet. So
yeah.
Is
hey, I wanted to let you know, our TNZ, that I found a proper video for you that is for today. So here you guys go. Enjoy. Bush, this one's for you too.
These are called oysters. You want one? They make you feel so good. You want to make my cock explode now?
Oh, okay. I have a question. Am I the only one that didn't like that part of the show?
No, I didn't like it either.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
The
Because he
sexual
doesn't know.
proclivities.
None of
through
the Fallout
ignorance.
games really reference anything of the nature.
But you have to understand the guy. He's never had anything good in his life. It was rough all the time, and he's pampered all of a sudden. Of course, he's going to enjoy that.
Well, the first Fallout.
And he learned. Wait, and on top of that, he learned that the cock exploding isn't a bad thing. So he's in heaven.
Also, to borrow a phrase from another movie, when a hot vault girl says, "Do you want to have sex?" you say yes.
Yep.
Well, there's
Lucy the Vault Dweller, good evening. As the duly appointed representative of the Enclave and the Brotherhood of Steel, I hereby order you to take off your clothes and we'll go back to your place of origin or the nearest convenient rundown bunk bed. That was good, right?
I have another question to everybody that has watched the show. And I think this is really an important question. Did anybody believe for a second that this was a guy?
Oh.
No.
Anybody?
Yeah.
No? Nobody. All right.
But by the way, there's some interesting statement being said about that's also the one person that does self-harm. I'm not saying it means anything, just kind of an interesting statement by the creators.
Also, this real quick, no, I know there's no consistency between the games, but there's only been one game that ever explored romance at all, and it was Fallout 4. There's never been any mention of romance in literally all of the other literature.
Well, there's sex in
New Vegas.
New Vegas.
New Vegas.
There's
Yeah,
sex
when I was playing it, there was hints of liking somebody. How about this gun? Because I was told that this is in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Similar pistol.
Yep.
That's the old school 10 mil.
Looks Blade Runner-esque, if you ask me, but I love that.
Well, there's a gun called That Gun that's basically modeled after Decker's pistol.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the people that made Fallout 1 and 2 especially were all nerds.
Yeah.
In fact, there's the Guardian of Forever as a random encounter in Fallout 2.
Crash
you can actually go into it.
There is nothing but pop culture references in the first two.
Yeah.
Oh, the second one is full of them.
Oh yeah,
massively full of them.
Oh yeah, there's a crash shuttlecraft in 2 as well. And
I assume that the inconsistency lies along the lines of the same kind of inconsistency you have between the 3 Evil Dead movies.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you what Bruce said in front of me one time to a nerd that was asking him that question? He's out there. This is way back in the 90s. I was still in the Army, and I went to a convention in Northern California. I think it was Sacramento. And the guy says, can you explain, because the movie had just come out that year, can you explain the differences between Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness? Because how are these things sequels? They don't make sense. And Bruce's response was, well, apparently it's that giant tumor in your brain.
Yeah.
And the guy says the classic Schwarzenegger line, I don't have a tumor. It's not a tumor. And Bruce ends it by saying, he says, you sure you might want to get that checked because something's wrong up there. All right, next question.
By the way, I
yes.
love how Steph completely hijacked this guy's life.
Yeah.
Even changed his name and everything.
I feel sorry for him. I mean, yeah, it's not in the wasteland, but he's.
And this is in the game too. I saw this in
Red
one
Rockets
of
are
the
everywhere.
videos I watched.
Yeah,
that's gas company.
Blood.
Well, no, it's coolant. It's not gas. They don't use gasoline anymore because of the
cars
the
are
resource.
nuclear powered.
Well, I mean,
yeah, all the cars are nuclear powered,
and the Ford
you,
Fusion.
Enunciate
concept of the
for
Ford
Gerry
Fusion.
there.
It's not just for me. Anima wants it too. It's a pet peeve of hers and mine.
What?
But
And
yeah,
we-
the Red Rockets are all
here?
coolant. They're coolant things. They're not gas.
Yeah,
But if you look at the gas prices, though, they still have some gas prices like regular unleaded.
Oh
and
my
cooled.
God. Bush gets it because
Yes.
anybody who knows what Red Rocket means.
Red Rocket,
It's
Red Rocket, Red
gross.
Rocket.
It means the Red Rocket gas station?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it means.
Ryan.
By the way,
that's
wasn't that a
precisely that.
female? Wasn't it a female that ran the radio station in the
No.
game?
Oh,
Which
I thought it
radio
was.
station?
The one that this is referencing.
This isn't
No.
referencing anything in particular.
No. So the very first radio station, significant one, was Fallout 3, and that's Three Dog, and he's a black guy, kind of a little Rastafarian-ish.
Mm-hmm. There's a crossbow bolt.
Yes. Also,
Shouldn't
at
I
the
be
same time-
dead? I'm not dead.
Yeah.
That is a great moment in the show right there. And the looks on their faces. Oh my God. But you could tell that they were falling in love with each other. I like their characters. I like the romance of it.
That or those characters are what Finn and Ray should have been.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. Reed, if you kill Three Dog, a woman replaces him. I've never killed Three Dog.
You can
No,
kill
why
Three
would you
Dog.
kill
I thought
Three
it was
Dog?
essential.
No,
I thought he was essential. What? What?
Okay, now I gotta go kill Three Dog to see if that's true.
We're gonna go kill Three Dog. Everybody, get on the bus. It's time to kill Three Dog.
I'll Google the video. Like on, I can't. I just can't. I can't play it back.
Yeah.
Like I
I
was
have
trying
to
it
myself.
in Knights of the Old Republic. Like I couldn't actually hurt any of the. I couldn't rob nobody. I think the only time I actually intimidated somebody was to get a cheaper price for HK-47. I was like going, "Oh, I'll do this to you," and it's like, "Oh, okay, $3,000, $3,000."
Oh man, I have some savage characters that are complete heels, shit heels.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't do it personally. I don't know why.
Well, the character that you emphasize with, you don't ever want to be that kind of a character. But if you're wanting to do a playthrough where you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a dick, you just got to separate yourself from that character and play the character.
That's kind of my problem with the later Fallouts is that they really lessened the brutality of what you could do. Because Fallout 2, you can become a slaver if you want.
Yep. Yeah, it's unfortunately it's kind of a presence of current day. Because what? Even in Fallout New Vegas, you couldn't little lamplight. You couldn't kill. You couldn't kill kids. You have to install a mod to kill the kids. Which I mean, I didn't, but I heard there was a mod, and then you see the thing, and it's like,
Yeah, there's mods, but you can't kill kids in Fallout 4 too until you sell a mod.
oh yeah, no, I actually
You can sell the ghoul. You can sell the ghoul kid to the gunner guy.
Well, you can sell. Yeah, you can do that, but you can't kill them.
Right.
I think New Vegas and 4 were both the games that I just tested it on a whim. I aimed at the kids and I was like going, all right, you pull the trigger and nothing happens. And I'm like, okay.
Boosh McFadden is saying, y'all out here killing kids and dogs, what the fuck? And all I have to say is a man's got to eat.
It is messed up, dude, to do that. It's like, I don't know. When I got what was that game where it's where you wander around an ancient land and you can do good deeds and you can kick chickens and you can become more angelic. Fable. Oh my God, I played that game. I played it with my daughter and my best friend. Okay. By the end of the game, he was a complete satanic evil being. Because anything bad you could do, he did. My daughter, borderline, was very demonic. And I jump in there and my character's like, hi, I'm squeaky clean, and I just looked at her. I said, where did I fail you? That you do this shit. Killing people's children.
Yeah, in Fable, yeah, you could kick the chickens. I think that what was it? Skyrim took it further, where you could actually, kill them by doing certain things, and the guards would turn on you or something.
Oh
Or
no,
was
those chickens would. If you attack the chicken in River Run, that chicken will fuck you up.
Oh really?
Okay, so then it was Oblivion then.
No, if you
attack, all I know is when you go to River Run, when you first get to River Run, you're first level or second level. That chicken will hurt you.
Yes, it will.
It'll flock you to death.
shit?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But there's one of them that like I can't remember. I think it's Skyrim that like if you actually hurt a chicken, the guards will come after you.
Yeah,
that's because it's property. That's because it's property. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
all right, here's that table scene I was talking about, where they hint to the resetting.
Dude, Mr. House, they picked a good actor for House. They really did.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the Mr. House actor was spot on. He 100% like him.
And by the way, you can ask Anima. I was playing Call of Duty one night, Modern Warfare, and she saw the chickens in cages next to me. She goes, can you interact with them? And I turned around and I shot one, killing it.
I believe I asked you if you can shoot them directly.
Yeah, that's what she says. And I just turned and I shot one and went, there you go. She didn't have to do it, just answer my question.
Don't pretend I'm so nice, Gerry. I'm fucked up too. You know, I like it when things get violent in movies. I enjoy that. Yes, I did ask, can you shoot them?
I'll do it sometimes. Like if I'm on a certain map and they're blocking my view, I'll kill them and get them out of the way so I can shoot somebody.
It's nice to see House, but he shouldn't be at this meeting.
No.
I don't think I agree with that one because Mr. House knew what was coming, and that's how he managed to protect New Vegas.
Yeah, but he wasn't in bed with Vault-Tec though. He was against Vault-Tec.
No,
and he was in there as a representative of himself to ensure that Vault-Tec isn't going to screw with his plans.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the de-aging on Kyle MacLachlan here?
It's pretty good.
Actually, yeah.
Their technology's getting better every year.
It's not quite there. It's better than
a little
Tron
too
Legacy.
smooth for me. It looked like
smooth
filter lens.
Oh, and also because they have to throw in every Fallout thing, even though it makes sense. War never changes. It's like,
Well, I mean, that's literally the tagline of Fallout. Like, how can you be grumpy about that? That's like saying in a Star Wars movie, you're going to say, well, I don't want to say may the force be with you. Like, are you really?
No, it's them saying it at that particular point. It's like, no, there's a better place you could have found for it.
I mean, probably, but it's meant to be an ironic statement because every game starts and ends with that phrase. That's why it's an ironic phrase.
I have the feeling you don't want to like the series.
Who is that directed to?
I don't know.
To Shinovsky.
Oh. Shinovsky?
You know, every opinion valid.
Mixed bag for me.
Well, every opinion's valid, but Schnapski's.
I just want to ask Lucy one question. Whenever she met her mother, did she ever hate ghouls after that?
That's a really good one too. That's a good voice.
Well, I'm a voice by
Sport Cal, that's actually not supposed to be a female in the story. It's a male. The actress is gender fluid.
No, just part of it is just because, especially because, like, it reminds me a little too much of Westworld, and I remember exactly how that ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in a sense, yes. Because, again, same showrunners who... So, no, I definitely get that. Look, I went in looking at this going, oh, shit. This is going to be terrible. I was not looking forward to this. I was pleasantly surprised towards the end.
As I said, it's a decent first season. My issue is I don't think they know where they're going. That's my whole thing.
I was hoping Maximus died at this scene. It's just, during this fight. I don't
Maximus
like Maximus
dying would have been a good rite of passage story for sure. Dying for the
Racist.
No, I'm not racist. I think he's a
to me, all you smooth skins are the same. Y'all look the same to me.
The only people say that he has a redemption arc. He doesn't have a redemption arc. There's nothing redeeming about him because he goes along with the whole ploy of, okay, well, I don't want to say I killed him, but look at what's going to get me. So yeah, I killed her.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go along and start the new brotherhood with the evil scribe. Yeah, sure. The elder. Yeah.
It's a wacky elder, man. Wacky.
The only character with the redemption arc is Walter Goggins, the ghoul. Coop. He has a redemption arc. It's slow, but by the end of it, he realizes that he's not. Doesn't need to be the way he is. Now, I think that's Lucy's influence on him.
Absolutely, she impacted him. I do have a question. Like the whole ending here with the giving power to the city was weird. It was a subplot that I just couldn't understand. Like, water is more important than electricity at this point.
Water fires in town.
They already got fusion.
They've already done the water line. That's why, it's not going to be repeated. But actual infinite power can actually lead to innovating and rejuvenating the city. And
that's why there's the big fight in Fallout New Vegas over the Hoover Dam.
Exactly.
Yep.
And this takes place after the fact again, so the events of Fallout at New Vegas are 2281. This takes place in 2296, almost 2300. So the thing is that, and again, I want to reiterate the fact, especially to people who are going, well, they just shit all over Fallout New Vegas and the NCR. There is one moment. In every single Fallout game, there's one moment that I call the Big Hope moment. The TV show had it, and it was when the cold fusion was regenerating and starting to power up. And there was one flag waving. It was tattered, it was torn, but there was one flag waving, and that was the New California Republic.
Yeah.
Because again, the old world New California Republic was rife with corruption, but the ideals were right. So it was kind of a reset of that. So I'm thinking in season 2, we're going to see a resurgence of the NCR, who has the old world idea of freedom, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution of the United States, what it was founded on, what it was supported. So
those are all with Abraham in Rivet City.
Yeah.
I also don't think
thing intentionally, as some people would shout on. I just think that they just did some things poorly and it was misunderstood, because it's like,
Like in pertaining to the show, or just my point? I'm not sure what that one.
Oh no! I'm talking about the whole Shady Sands thing, or what you were talking about with the NCR.
Yeah.
I think they just what they were trying to implement, they messed up at, and the player base took it like to be way worse than what they were trying to. Because obviously, teaser at the very end, they're going to New Vegas.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah.
Yes, they
And
are.
a lot of people were like, "Oh, but it looks ruined." Have you played New Vegas?
Yeah, it looks.
I'm like, it looks ruined anyway.
Well, there is a big gaping hole where the Gourmand used to be, and
yeah,
there's some details with the other. Now the Lucky 38 looks untouched.
Yeah.
The Lucky 38 doesn't have any power, but it looks unscathed, meaning that whatever happened, if House is still alive, he has defended at least his tower. But throughout the years, the centuries, more and more of Las Vegas was lost to wasters, gangs, infighting. So it's now down to the last bastion for Mr. House, and that is the Lucky 38.
The five families were originally Wastelanders. That Mr. House brought in and said, "Hey, look, we'll make you a deal. We'll set you up. Just don't trash New Vegas."
Yeah. Also, on top of that, too, real quick, there are people who have said, like, going, "Well, New Vegas looked like it was nuked too," and I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. The Lucky 38 would not be standing if there was a nuke blast.
Nope.
It looks like the other buildings have fallen into disrepair as the NCR, who again was working with Mr. House in conjunction. But if the NCR died, what was the official NCR died, then Mr. House would be left trying to maintain New Vegas himself. He doesn't have those vast resources. He even said the fact that, like, going to the New California Republic, he formed an alliance with them to actually preserve New Vegas.
It's just kind of
another thing too. Oh, go ahead.
No matter outside of going House, every other ending basically has House taken out. So I'm just going. They have their work cut out for them, because I don't think anyone's going to be totally happy, because everyone has their favorite faction for New Vegas.
See, that doesn't look that bad at all. I mean, it looks like New Vegas from the game.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing a lot of damage there that's not there in the game.
Well,
those walls look intact.
Yeah, the walls look good, but there's a big blasted hole in the wall during the flyby. Here's what I've took from this: the House ending, in my opinion, has to be the canonical ending. The reason why is because we see House in the meeting, and then we see the Lucky 38 unscathed. The other reason is of course, if Mr. House is the person that takes Hoover Dam, and the NCR is suffering again this other conflict back in California with Vault-Tec, they're going to be desperate and make a final push. They're going to be like, no, we're going to need a new capital city, or we're going to need some place to call home. And Mr. House has already played his cards and took the Hoover Dam from us, and we're upset. That's the reason why you see those vertebrates with the NCR logo sprayed on them and whatnot. Is there was a final battle. There is no active Securitrons. There is no lights. There is no glitz and glamour in New Vegas, because there was a fight there. And the Lucky 38 is the only tower left standing. So, in my opinion, I feel that the NCR made a final push because of the events of New Vegas being the House ending.
I don't know about you guys, but my canonical ending is always me in charge.
Yeah, I was going yes, man. Basically, is I think solely from a writing perspective, mind you, because it gives you the most leeway to do whatever the hell you want.
Right.
I would actually lean towards the fact that that the NCR actually won and Mr. House was actually, because the reason is seeing New Vegas the way it is, seeing that the lights have been turned off, and the New California Republic has had its lights turned off, it would make sense that New Vegas looks a little bit worse than it did when we left it. I mean, the Securitrons can be run off of basic programming to leave the streets, somewhat habitable. But as for actually a functioning government in New Vegas, Mr. House, the Lucky 38 is dark. There's no lights there, and we're at dusk. You would see lights on the Lucky 38, but you don't see lights in the majority of any of New Vegas. So if Mr. House won, he would have enough power to generate, at least the Lucky 38, but everything's turned off. Which makes
you don't think he would have a backup generator just to keep his life support going?
He had his own power source. I thought
He
that
had
was the
his
whole
own power
point.
source for life support, but the Lucky 38 is dark. Why would his prized gem, the Lucky 38, be dark?
That's
Unless
true.
the New California
Good
Republic won, and they lost ultimately later on, and they're defunct now.
Well, times like this, I wish that one of the cut endings had actually happened, which was a House NCR alliance at the end.
I know, dude. I wish that would have been a thing too. I mean, and I had probably the best ending of everybody helping the NCR that was quite possible. Even the remnants of the Enclave I got.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how hard it was.
Bush, make that your next band name. 6 Nerds and a Woman.
That's true.
Ogre. What if they're going for a canonical ending that Kaiser won?
Kaiser would be dead either way.
Yeah,
he had a heart condition. Yeah.
Yeah, he would be dead now. But I mean, what I'm saying is, if they're going for the canonical, if they're saying that Kaiser actually won the Battle of Hoover Dam and then took out New Vegas,
I mean, that would be kind of shock and awe. I'd kind of like it, and I kind of love it, but I'd also hate it.
Yeah.
The problem is, given the politics of the people involved in creating this show, you think they would want people to even remotely be going for a God Emperor cult of personality person, given certain political things that are going on currently in the world, especially at the risk that the audience might actually like them, like some people like Kaiser.
Yeah, I don't know why people like Kaiser. He's an annoying git. Now, Linnaeus on the other hand.
Oh,
he's
Leggett
bad.
Lanius is awesome.
Yes.
I mean, hell, I'd like to have them have Ulysses, but who knows?
Well,
the Burn Man was cool. I love the Burn Man. I love that whole story.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good
As far as the canon goes, the game and the series are going to have different canon. Period.
No.
No,
They're trying to say
Todd-
this is in
wants to
canon
be
with the games, and that's where all their issues started.
Yeah.
Todd Howard has come out and said that the TV shows are canon with the games.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
It means they have a lot of work to do in season 2 to try to rectify a few things that we've discussed here.
And Fallout 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well, I kind of think the show is Fallout 5 quotations, or Fallout 4.5, whatever you want to say it is. We'll probably get season 2 before we get Fallout 5.
Oh yeah, we will.
it probably
Although,
this is
I think
better
Fallout-
written than
With the response they got, I got a feeling we're going to get Fallout 5 before we expect it.
after Starfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
76 is getting a new update for a territory in Shenandoah. It's the Skyline, the Red Radstorm that they're putting in it It kind of reminds me of some of the sky effects from Brutal Legend, with the big cyclone of clouds and the red lightning and stuff. I was just like, this just looks like Brutal Legend.
No, I think they look at the popularity of Fallout and they're thinking that they need to push something because Bethesda is. I enjoyed Starfield, but it fell on its face.
I didn't.
And
I can't comment on that one.
But I kind of wish they had explained them better. Or even one of the things they kind of in the series, what exact experiment are they doing? Like with the dogs, apparently some behavioral stuff, but they never really explain anything about.
Why are they making the perfect attack dog?
The same reason in Fallout 3, the Enclave was made Deathclaws tame.
Yeah.
Back on command.
We got to talk about tame Deathclaws. We got to talk about Vault 3.
At least they're not using laser pointers to designate their targets.
Yeah.
Allegedly! That was a
Oh, God. It makes me sad when I can still say, yep, still has better writing than Jurassic World.
I like Jurassic World, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, look, when the child at the end of that one movie releases the Kraken on the world, that child became the ultimate villain and should have been killed.
Dude, I'm
Lost
like,
me.
if I had a gun, that kid's getting headshot several times.
Also,
look at the flowers, kid.
When they did in the next film showing laser tagging people, when they tag people with lasers, that's not how laser targeting works.
No.
Not even close.
Nope.
It's nothing like that. What they showed was absolute nonsense. They would it shines a light on them like you like to fuck with your cat, and then all of a sudden the dinosaur knows to get that person. It's like, no, that's just stupid. That's not how targeting works.
There's also an audible too when the laser goes off. It's like you can hear it.
Yeah. But why do any of that when there's another device you can point at and push a button and kill someone a lot faster with?
Faster than by dinosaur. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, less traceable.
I mean, a little less James Bond villain with the laser.
Yeah, I want to address this.
Well, Goldfinger, now that you've got that laser pointed at my willy.
The best.
I just want dinosaurs with freaking laser beams attached to their foreheads.
Right.
Oh, are you wanting me to I'll recite that line for you. I want dinosaurs with freaking laser beams on their freaking heads. Okay? Is that so hard?
Go for it, John.
Anyway, I think their best move at this point to capitalize on Fallout is to release a remaster of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Oh,
that would be easier to do than pushing Fallout 5 to push it out quicker, or making a focused spinoff. Is remaster those to whet the appetite of the players and keep them happy while waiting for season 2, and then after they can tie it like they tried to they messed up the timing, but they had delays on getting the new the next gen patch out for Fallout 4, but they can tie in Fallout 5 with season 2. And if they were smart, since they're both under the same roof, they would let Obsidian take part of it, and they would collaborate on it. Because
it's Bethesda and Microsoft. The word smart has not played.
Microsoft owns both Bethesda and Obsidian. There's no reason why that they couldn't take the two
unless they
developers
dissolve
of the Fallout properties and have them collaborate.
They've actually added
the studios.
downloadable content now to 4, because I know that gun, the specific gun, is now available that was made in the show, is now added to the game.
You can get Doom guy armor in 4. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. There's some stupid stuff. Well, that was a Creation Club, though.
Yeah.
And that's basically what this is, but they haven't, they really haven't had it, except for they basically added some quests to and put some of the Enclave stuff that was already in the game,
right?
Like the Hellfire armor and stuff. They just put it into this new, it's not really a DLC because they, I guess it is technically, but it's not Creation Club content anymore, even though that's how they distribute it. But they just basically took everything Enclave and gave it to everybody and threw some quests in there.
Now,
so it's not like it was like low effort.
All right, for the last bit here, let's go into this and then we'll end the show. What are your thoughts about the conclusion and where do you think they're going? Start with you, John.
Well, obviously they're going to New Vegas, but I think they're going to explore Moldiver more, and we'll get an answer why she's still alive after being alive since before the war.
Right.
I think to deal with the fall of Vault-Tec. I think they're ultimately going to fail because of Lucy and the Ghoul. I think they're gonna, we're gonna find out what happened to the NCR and House and stuff.
All right, cool. Shinatsky, your thoughts of where we go from here on the series?
I don't think the writers know. I think they went New Vegas because
I think they have an idea.
Popular.
I'm sure they have an idea.
It's just I don't trust the Nolans.
I like Jonathan Nolan. I think Jonathan Nolan gets bullied into things, and that's what ruined Westworld. But his series, Person of Interest, great series.
Oh yeah,
it's
his
writing. Wife.
I didn't want to say anything, but thanks, Shinatsky. Yes, his wife bullied him.
Yep.
Yeah, because she sucks ass. Fuck her.
Or does she?
Yep, and hopefully, because they're redoing the Man in Black, but it seems like they're actually doing it better because they realize they shouldn't, do things like make him kill his own daughter. They're probably not going to do that. So there's actual hope with that character.
Okay.
And I think that Walton Goggins will be excellent, and that will be, if anything else fails, that will at least be a reason to watch it, even if they fail at everything else.
Can I add something?
Yeah,
I think they're going to make Maximus the ultimate villain. I think he's going to be the villain of season 2.
He's too wishy-washy as a character, and I think that's a possibility for him. Ryan, your thoughts?
I very much disagree with that because, again, Maximus doesn't have that much power. He was a squire the last time the Brotherhood saw him, and at the end of the show, like, they praised him, yes, but it's not like they're going to give him elder status. It's not something that happens at Fallout. Like, you'd be elevated to knight and given a suit of power armor.
Yeah.
But
or paladin, even.
Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, paladin. So anyway, as for, we're definitely going to New Vegas. I'm leaning towards the fact that the NCR actually won, which the majority of people that I've seen over the years say that the NCR won the Battle of Hoover Dam twice, because there's 1 and 2, and that there's a reason that New Vegas is dark. That even maybe after the defeat of the NCR and stuff like that, that maybe there are remnants of Caesar's Legion, I would probably lean into, who have moved into the area, as raiders.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not bad. There needs to be more answers. But I'm excited to see New Vegas again, especially. I think it was a great show. I think it was a really, really good show.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, and it got a really bad rap from certain YouTubers who, quite frankly, don't know shit about the lore, even though they say, I played the game. Mauler.
I went into it just like many of you, thinking it was going to be crap, just assuming because of Halo, and and I remember somebody says, "Man, you got to check out the new season of Halo. It's so much better than season 1." I went, "No, because it's made by the same people. No, not interested
also
in
Zombie Master Chief. Who wants to see that?
Yeah. So
I thought it couldn't get worse after seeing Master Chief's naked ass, but Zombie Master Chief, no, thank you. Fuck off.
It's kind of nice butt. Anyway, Tony, your thoughts.
My thoughts on season 2. I do have some fears that they're going to go the way of Westworld, given Nolan's track record. But I'm going to hold out and see what happens. I feel like the show is very, very good. Standing as right now at the end of season 1, there are those plot holes that, some of which are gaping, but that's to be expected whenever you go out on a limb and say, oh, by the way, we're totally matching this canon with a game where you make every key decision in it. That's real smart. But I honestly feel like where it's going to go, I don't think Maximus is going to end up being the bad guy. I think possibly we may see more of that office from the Enclave that scientists escape from. I think that they're going to stick to what they know, and that is Enclave equals bad. Shoot Enclave, K-Fangs. And I think that's
they always make the Enclave the villains.
So
they've done that since 3.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that they're probably going to be pushing the Enclave on us. Possibly Muties and Death Claws will show.
Well, the closest we got
one
was
or the
Death
other.
Claws.
I hope so.
Oh, the Death Claw skull. Yeah.
I need Death Claw, please.
Yeah, we need some Muties though. We need some super mutants for sure.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah, because we didn't really get to see anything. I mean, it's alluded to within the show that they have super mutants.
Allegedly.
But we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, no. So real quick, so when they went to the cave where the Yalguai was, I was expecting a Death Claw because that would be the most terrifying thing ever.
Yeah.
And then again, a Yalguai was probably like second notch or something like that. But then again, Super Duper Bart canonically in all the games are infested by super mutants and
super mutants and ghouls.
Yeah, super mutants and ghouls.
Who's this Mauler that they're talking about in the chat? Is he a YouTuber?
Yeah, he's in the crowd with Critical Drinker and.
So when Critical Drinker actually liked the show and actually thought it was pretty good, Mahler had issues with the stim pack healing. He's like, oh wow, I mean, it seems kind of fake that they can heal instantly. It's like going, that's part of the game, dumbass. And then he was like well, somebody the first stream they ever did, it's like, well, apparently Mahler hasn't played the games. This is the before said comment. And he's like, no, I've played the fucking games. And I was like going, you're really defensive, dude. Like, are you serious? Like, people who played the games, they go, oh, okay, well, no, I understand where you're coming from. Like, or I may have forgotten that stuff. But he got defensive on more than one fucking issue. And he's like, oh, I'm a gamer. I've played those games. It's like, apparently you don't. You don't know how Stim Pack works. You don't understand why the fact that the Vault Dwellers were like fucking naive. Like, I think you're just a fucking poser. And that's where I got in trouble with the Fellowship. And people started, unsubbing for me and all that kind of, unfollowing me on Twitter and stuff like that. And it's like, great.
I just thought it was your terrible analysis.
It is. It is my terrible analysis of the fact that Mahler sucks apparently a lot of dick.
I just don't understand that. to go to such an extreme on something. It's like, I don't know how you can go to that extreme on this show, because I went in absolutely expecting crap and was pleasantly surprised by what I was given. In fact, by the time we got to the third episode, I went, I don't think the rug's going to get pulled out from under us. I think this is just going to be a consistently good show. Because that's what I kind of expect. The first two episodes, like, oh, it's going to suck here. Oh, we lost somebody.
Tony.
Oh, Tony left. Oh, he lost connectivity again. But the smaller guy, I don't know who it is. I've never watched any of his shows, so I don't know who Mahler is. Nothing personal. I'm not criticizing him as a person, but I think it's dumb for anyone to come at this show that way. And I'm friends with Nate, Mr. H. And I know who Critical Drinkers. I follow him and Dave Cullen. And I find that 95 to 98% of what I like, they like. I just think it's neat that you find people that have similar taste to yours. So this Mahler, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look him up and find out what you're talking about. But what a weird stance.
It's what the internet encourages. Internet does not encourage moderation. Internet encourages extremes.
Agreed.
Well, you'll notice, guys, that I pretty much changed our format on Pop Culture Minefield, because all it seemed like we were doing was assessing the news and discussing the news and adding to the news. And that's all we were doing. And instead, I decided, and I talked to Keith about this a long time ago, that I would really like to take Pop Culture Minefield into the arena of talking about stuff that's good and focus on that and stop focusing on just all the crap, because there's a lot of crap out there. There really is. But if it's not new stuff, if a majority of new stuff is not good, then let's talk about old stuff. Let's talk about what made these things so good. And that's why we do what we do on Saturdays and for Military Monday. And now we're going to be doing for Fridays, which is delving deep into really well done TV shows on Fridays, as well as films eventually if we run out of shows.
That's why we decided not to do the Thin Red Line on Monday, because we actually didn't like it.
I didn't see any point to talk about a film I thought was poorly made. Even the original Thin Red Line, made in 1960, still not that good. And the irony of it is the guy who wrote it, the book, The Thin Red Line, also wrote From Here to Eternity. And the reason why From Here to Eternity is his best book is because it was the one event where he was actually there when it happened. When he got into the Pacific and was sent to Guadalcanal, the Marines had already finished the hardest work. The Marines are the ones who fought. That's where the name Gyrene comes from with the Marine Corps, is from Guadalcanal. And brutal fighting. Now, yes, the Army was involved with some stuff, but it was much, much less. And it wasn't as important or tactically as important as what they showed in the film Big Red One, or I don't know. The guy wrote one good book, From Here to Eternity, because he was on Pearl Harbor when we got attacked. He was there, saw it for himself. The rest of his stuff's not good. Thin Red Line, I don't think will ever make a good film. Dale Dye did his best by making the military stuff in the film good. It's the only thing that's good. When I had Anima watch it with me, what did I do, Anima?
Yeah, we sped it forward. Like
I fast forwarded through everything else and went straight to the combat.
Fucking minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost a 3-hour movie. Watch it in 45 minutes.
Yeah. Crazy.
Mahler said, "We don't know the scientist is working with Moldover. They never explicitly explain it. F that. The viewer doesn't need hand-holding. No. They're writing. What I like is when shows, and Jonathan Nolan is known for doing this, is not pandering to his audience by trying to spoon feed them everything. He lets them figure stuff out on their own. And I do like Jonathan Nolan's writing. When his wife isn't directly involved with messing it up, does some really good writing. Another show, by the way, guys, that we've tried and I think we're going to walk away from now. What is that?
The baby.
That's sorry.
No. It was getting louder and louder. And I was trying to figure out, what is that?
And not a cat?
The baby is a Jonathan Nolan fan, so you're about to criticize him.
Yeah, you didn't have to go off camera, John. Just mute your mic.
Oh, sorry, it's smaller. Sorry.
So another show that Anima and I gave a shot, and I thought, because they tried to make Columbo over again. They tried to reboot Columbo, and and there was I'm not talking about that one yet. It was called Poker Face, and it had the chick from American Pie, and it was supposed to be Columbo, and the two actors that were vying for the role was Mark Ruffalo and her, the chick from American Pie. But when Ryan Johnson got involved, the Columbo thing just disappeared. I'll just make my own show. And what did he do? He created a detective who doesn't have a license to do what they're doing or the ability to threaten with arrest any of the people they're investigating. So the show makes no sense. Also, gives the character the magic ability to read micro expressions and tone. It's not magical. A lot of people have that ability. Cops have it. Detectives have it. Really good detectives have that ability. So it just pissed me off. Ryan Johnson is a crappy producer. It's a dumb show. It had 2 episodes that were halfway good, and the rest were garbage. So I don't know if they're going to get a season 2. All I know is that Elsbeth from the same network or studio puts this out. It's another reboot of Columbo. And it started out pretty good. And then the last 2 episodes make no sense with what she's doing. She was supposed to be a policeman's policeman. Her job was to oversee the police department. So all of her investigation was going on while they're investigating. Got it? Simple concept. Now, all of a sudden, the last 2 episodes, she's deep in the investigation herself. And everybody's relying on her. And I'm like, okay, you lost me. It doesn't make sense anymore.
The murders are dumb. The murders are fucking dumb.
The last 2 murders were really stupid. Yeah. And it's like King and King. It's a wife and husband team. They do some good stuff. I love Evil. That is a good show. I'm not so sure about this last season. It was still entertaining, but I had problems with it. But I do like the show Evil. I'm hoping that they don't fuck it up. But this show, it's already halfway through the season. It's fucked up. Elsbeth. It's like, again, trying to remake that, bring back that whole Columbo thing.
And did well in the first episodes.
It won't give the person the position of being a cop.
I mean, I'll give them the one episode with the dumb murder at the wedding. Okay. But then the next episode is just as dumb. And they say, well, bullshit. And we're like, what? Did they change writers? Did they change producers?
Yep.
What's going on?
This is the problem when you hate cops and you don't want to make them heroes.
Yeah, it is a problem. And it's both times they went away from being cops. And it fails because they're not cops. And I agree with you, Kingsport Cal. I like her. I think she's a very good actor. I think that show betrayed her, and Ryan Johnson betrayed her. They should have rebooted Columbo to a whole new audience, doing the first 2 movies. What was the first one? Was called
Prescription Murder.
Murder. That was a great one. And that's the one, by the way, I think that's the one Dirk Benedict did on stage. Reed. I think it was Prescription Murder.
It was a stage show before it was a
TV and
movie.
I think that's what Dirk Benedict was in, is a reproduction of that one. So is Dark Matter any good? I don't know, dude. I'm trying to get around to watching it. I want more episodes before I do, so I can binge at least 4 episodes and know if it's any good.
The Canadian one, right?
Well, it's basically, it deals with time again, and that every time, string theory, every time you veer off, you create a whole new timeline. And so one version of the main character in the story comes to another time and kidnaps him, takes him away so he can have his time.
Okay, there's multiple series with that name, so I was thinking of another one.
Yeah, the only good Dark Matter was the one on Sci-Fi. As far as
what was that one?
That's a basically it's a ship where they They wake up out of stasis and their memories have been wiped. And they have to figure out what's going on. It's a good show.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Now, another good show that Adam and I have been really engaged with is called Sugar with Colin Farrell. And he's the executive producer on it. In episode 6, it went from being a neo-noir series to being an absolute out of my fucking mind sci-fi show. And I read about one of the interviews that Colin said that when they approached some of the other networks with this, when everybody got to the sci-fi element, they chickened out, said they didn't want to produce it.
It's crazy, but on a good level, I think.
Hey, hello, Wolverine.
Luke Cage, huh? Coming back.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll, because I said earlier, Keith and I talked about this earlier, Wolverine, that with Evil being a hit, it's going to be hard for him to find the time to do Luke Cage. Marvel would have to work with him. This is the final season of Evil. So now that we got that announcement, there lays that opportunity for him. Because other than that, if they were going to continue the show, then they would have to bounce their season off of Evil. So he'd be shooting at different times of the year for each show. But I've always wanted him to come back for Luke Cage because I thought that they screwed that up on Netflix. But I like him. I like him as Luke Cage. I thought it was good. He was good. Oh, you lost your microphone. No problem, buddy. Yeah, it's like we're used to losing Tony, but then we lost you. And it's like, okay, what's going on here?
No,
I get duck of death on a regular.
2 hours. That's fine.
Yeah. But we will eventually talk about it on Friday. We will talk about this new show. When it's finished, the season is done, we will talk about the show on Friday.
Because that's Fridays now.
And I'm talking about the show Sugar. Because it's really good. Coulter was famously sniffy about playing Luke Cage. Thought he was too good for the action. Really?
Huh.
Is that true? I never read that before.
No.
I didn't hear him complain whenever they were doing those sheets with him and Kristen Ritter.
Would you?
Of course not.
So we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank Legion for joining us today on the show. It's great to have him here. Tony, you two, and John. 3 experts on one show. Awesome sauce. I like that. Shanowski's pretty much an expert too. Martin, he's okay. Allegedly, he's okay.
You need to get the Squirrely Dan allegedly from Letterkenny.
Yeah. So I want to thank Penny for being here. She went shopping and she went to Longhorn and then ended up going to a Chinese restaurant while we were doing the show. 2 hours. That's her life in 2 hours. Clay Thomason, thanks for showing up. Andy Morrow, Lord Thoth, all hail Lord Thoth. The Comic Relief Crusader, aka Mike. Thanks for being here, buddy. Monkey Juba, come again. Dragon
You need
Ruse.
to be on the panel more, Mike.
Mombi.
Really, seriously.
Sci-Fi Mombi was here. Bush McFadden. Radioactive. Tim's Talks. Read by Nature. Other Tim. RRTNZ. Wolverine 626. Great that everybody got to drop in and drop a line. We appreciate it. All the comments. Again, I want to thank RRTNZ for leaving the super chat and for Radioactive giving up 10 Pop Culture Minefield memberships. Some great people. Very much appreciated, man. Always good. Always good. Allegedly good. Okay, I'm sorry. Martin, stop playing that video.
You don't tell me what to do.
He's rebelling, Gary. You have to put him down.
Here they go.
Oysters? You want one? They make you feel so good. You want to make my cock explode now?
I love that we're an R-rated show. Kids aren't welcome. No children.
No kids
But
allowed.
John, thanks for showing up, buddy. Anima, it's always great to have you on our show. She watches these shows with me, so it's valuable to have her because she and I have immediate reactions to shows, and then we want to talk about that later. Appreciate Radioactive and having the guys on here and talking about. And I do want to bring this panel back, to discuss season 2 when it comes out.
Absolutely.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Out, you never know.
Hey man, I hope it's awesome. That's why I say it's like if I ever think something's gonna be bad, I'm going to be more than happy to be wrong.
Which you usually are, and that's okay. We love you anyway.
Come on, kids.
That's that punk attitude.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Dad.
So, but that's it, guys. Everybody have a good Saturday. What's that, sweetie?
Is that what you mean?
You were saying
to say?
You were saying something. Oh, fuck
Is
you,
that
Shanachi.
what you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just helping.
So-
Trying to help. Love you, Shanatsky.
And just to let you know, this is important.
The following people are gay.
Everybody's heard.
No.